What is up, guys? It's Swammer here, back again with my first Season 2 battles. So today going to be trying something a little bit different. I'm going to try and focus on what my opponents could have done differently, because these first 10 battles I'm going to be going up against people of all different skills, right? So it really is a good opportunity to showcase some of the decisions that you might want to do differently across the different skill levels. So let's go ahead and get into the battles. Yeah, so the first 5 matches of the season are always a bit interesting. You never know what you're going to find because it's really all kinds of different people. So this first one we come up against an Alolan Executor, and it's only actually about 1200 CP. So this is pretty good for us. We're just going to farm it straight down with Dragon Breath. And then it's a Sneasel coming in. Going to throw the Sky Attack and then swap into Deoxys. Still want to have good mechanics, even though I can tell that this trainer is definitely a new trainer. They're not going to have, they just don't have Mons near 1500 CP. So bring in Deoxys to do the double super effective damage, and then he's going to be dealing super effective damage to the Stoutland in the end as well. So here, I think the biggest thing for my opponent is just needing to get some Mons closer to that 1500 CP cap, and it's probably just because they're a really new player, they don't have a lot of choice. So that's definitely tough for them, but it's definitely something they can work on. Only be a matter of time. So in the second matchup, we come up against a Raichu on the lead. So going to be going to try and take it down quickly with Dragon Breath. So we're going to build up to a Sky Attack, and then I actually want to switch on the Charge move, because I don't really want to take a Wild Charge on Altaria. It is a Wild Charge. The thing about Wild Charge is because it debuffs you, you want to try and build up to 2 and use them back to back if you can, so you spend less time debuffed. Because after their defense fell, my counters were able to do so much damage, so I was able to counter them down completely. And then they bring in the Durant, which is totally fine. The bug fast moves would be dealing super effective damage. But they shield the Rock Slide, and then they're going to shield the second Rock Slide as well. And there's just really no need for them to shield. The Rock Slide would be dealing neutral damage and not a lot of it. So now they've put themselves down 2 shields, and my Altaria has loaded energy in the back, so it's going to be really tough for them to mitigate that damage. So it just comes in and takes out the Durant, and then it's a Latias in the back, which I'm just going to be able to Dragon Breath down very quickly and get to another Sky Attack. So you definitely don't want to shield too early, especially if you know what charge moves your opponent might have and that they're not going to do a ton of damage. So make sure you're saving your shields for the charge moves that are going to hurt the most, or for the Pokemon that are going to be most important for your victory. Alright, getting into the third match here, we come up against another Raichu. So going to be going for Sky Attack again. Actually, probably not going to be using the Sky Attack here. I was worried this could be Wild Charge, so I do go ahead and shield, but it's a Brick Break. So going to farm up a little bit and then try and swap on the Charge move. I do get it, hoping this is another Brick Break, and it is, so that's really good for me. Going to try and counter down all the way. They bring in a Slowbro, so that's okay. The counters are going to be resisted, though I am going to be resisting the confusion damage as well. Shielding the first one here is okay, because it could have been Thunderbolt. I'm not going to shield this. I want to save my shields. But then my opponent is going to shield this Rock Slide as well. And I haven't shown that I have Thunderbolt. So he would have survived a Thunderbolt. Since it's only going to be dealing neutral damage, you sort of want to make me prove that I actually have Thunderbolt, especially since I'm firing them off too quickly. And now you've used shields when you probably really didn't need to. So coming in with Lanturn now, I'm going to be able to farm down completely with Spark. And expecting the Raichu to come back in. The Raichu does come back in and not going to shield this. It's going to be another Brick Break. So I think the Raichu just has Brick Break. It should probably invest in the second move. It's only 10,000 Stardust, 25 candies, so it's not a big investment. Definitely important to have on Raichu. And then they come in with the Trez, and there's really not much they can do because I'm going to be able to get to a Hyper Pump very quickly. So there, my opponents, probably their biggest mistakes were double shielding on the Slowbro when it was just Rock Slides. Again, it was the first two charge moves. You're not going to necessarily want to use both your shields on the first two charge moves, so make sure that you're using your shields wisely. So come up against a Jolteon here. Going to try and get as much Dragon Breath damage off as I can. Not going to shield this Discharge. Does a decent amount of damage, so I'm going to swap into Deoxys. I do manage to swap on the charge move. Again, not going to shield. I'm going to try and counter him down, but he probably is going to get to another charge move, which I am going to have to shield. So I do go ahead and shield here. And then do counter him down, so I've got tons of loaded energy now. And who are they going to bring in? They bring in a Alolan Sandslash, so this is probably a mistake. Alolan Sandslash is going to be taking double super effective damage from my counters, and then neutral damage from the Rock Slides. So throwing out both Rock Slides, again, I get both shields right away. Probably no reason for them to double shield there. I am going to go ahead and shield because I have such a dominant matchup, because these counters are just going to absolutely erase the Sandslash. And now my opponent surrenders. They had the Poliwrath in the back, which probably would have got one shot by Psycho Boost, but they definitely should have brought the Poliwrath in against Deoxys instead of the Sandslash. Alright, getting into the next match, we come up against a Marshtomp. So this is okay. My opponent switches out. I'm going to switch into Deoxys. Not going to shield this first attack. It's a Rock Slide, so dealing a decent bit of damage. I'm going to go ahead and build up a little bit of extra energy. I'm going to shield here because I'm trying to get my opponent to shield my charge move, thinking it might be a Thunderbolt. And they do shield, so that's very good for me. And going to go for another Rock Slide here, wishing that I hadn't clicked it now because they did manage to get their charge move off, but going to go for the Rock Slide. If I get the shield, great. I do get the shield, so I'm able to farm down. So my opponent definitely shouldn't have shielded that because basically they gave up that shield for nothing. I was still able to farm them down. They didn't get Wind Switch advantage. So able to drop a Psycho Boost on the Marshtomp coming back in. Gonna go into Swampert. This is obviously a Mud Bomb, so I don't need to shield. They probably would have been better off to build up a little bit more energy to make it seem like it could have been something else. The Sky Attack's going to be taking out Marshtomp, and then they have an Azumir on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and switch into Lanturn just to wrap this up as quickly as I can. Again, I don't need to shield this because they didn't charge for long enough for anything other than Ice Beam. So I'm going to save the shield still. Going for the Thunderbolt now. This is going to be dealing a lot of damage. And then they're able to get off another charge move. This one I do shield because it's long enough. They've charged up enough energy it could be Hyper Pump, and it is. It still wouldn't have taken me out, but no reason not to use the shield there. So that was a good game there. I think my opponent, again, definitely shouldn't have committed to double shields on the Melmetal to try and win switch advantage. I think that was the big mistake, especially because the second shield didn't actually end up getting them anything. So just going to try and catch this Metagross quickly and get into the next set of 5 battles. So we saw definitely a lot of variety there, a lot of spice. The quality of the battles definitely went up throughout the 5, so the last opponents were much tougher than the first couple, but still definitely some decisions that, you know, some opportunity for them to make different decisions that might help improve their play in the future. All right, let's get into the next set of 5. I think these should be a little bit better now. We'll get matched up against some pretty strong opponents, I think. Just finding the match now. All right, here we go. And we come up against a Vigoroth. So this is okay for us. We're going to be resisting the counters, and the Dragon Breaths are going to be chunking quite effectively. Not going to shield. This is just a body slam. Does a decent amount of damage, actually. But we want to go for the Sky Attack, and then we're actually going to switch out into Deoxys, because he's going to be dealing super effective damage with the counters. So he's going to be able to farm down almost all the way here. So not going to shield the body slam. And then I thought I was going to be able to farm down, but he actually had a lot of energy stored, so he's got another body slam ready. Still not going to shield. The body slams do add up, but I want to save my shields for some really hard-hitting moves. So he comes in with a Whiscash. So this could actually be a bit of a problem for me. Going to go for Rock Slide first. And the reason I'm doing that is I don't want him to know that I have Psycho Boost. So going for Psycho Boost now, and my opponent probably has made a mistake here, and he's trying to farm me down for too much energy. So I'm able to get off 3 charge moves against him when I really shouldn't have been able to get off more than 1. And so he has to burn a shield and still burn some energy on Whiscash in order to take me out. So he definitely could have farmed up a little bit, but he didn't need to try and farm up nearly as much energy as he did. So I go ahead and shield because I was worried it could be a blizzard. And there's really no reason for me not to anymore. It's a Skirmary in the back. Going to go for the Sky Attack here and then swap into Lanturn. Lanturn's going to really be dealing a lot of damage to Skirmary and taking not very much in return. So they're really my opponent did everything fairly well, except on the Whiscash, they tried far too aggressively to farm down the Deoxys. Mudshot's not going to deal enough damage to be able to farm Deoxys down from, almost a quarter health. So I definitely think that building up some extra energy is the right play, but they wanted to throw a charge move a little bit earlier so that I didn't get in 2 Psycho Boosts as well. Preferably they'd throw one in before I got off the first Psycho Boost. All right, so we come up against Registeel on the lead here. We're going to go ahead and swap into Deoxys, and they counter swap into Whiscash. So this is okay. The Mud Bombs are not going to deal a lot of damage. We go ahead and go for a Rock Slide. Again, I don't want them to know that I have Psycho Boost, and I don't want to debuff my attack yet. So I'm going to build up now to 2 Psycho Boosts, or very close to 2 Psycho Boosts. Not going to shield. Mud Bombs doesn't deal a lot of damage. We are going to use the Psycho Boost now. And this is getting them very low. We CMP tie, which is unfortunate. I am going to throw up a shield because I want to win that switch advantage. And then going for the Psycho Boost now, and this is going to take out the Whiscash. So they do a good job, or make a good choice not to shield there. And then it is a Skirmary coming in. So I'm just going to get in as much chip damage as I can. Going for a Psycho Boost here. Not dealing very much damage anymore because I'm so debuffed, but don't want to lose switch advantage. And this is actually a really tough call for me. I could come in with Lanturn, or I could come in with Altaria. So my plan here was to come in with Altaria and get as much damage as I could onto the Skirmary and then switch into Lanturn. However, they actually switch into Registeel. So I go ahead and drop the Sky Attack, and I want to absorb some energy from this Registeel before bringing in Lanturn. So I'm going to let this Flash Cannon hit me. But I think that I might have still played this incorrectly. I think it would have been better if I brought the Lanturn in against the Skarmory right away, and because that would have let me get an energy advantage. Here I have to shield the Focus Blast, and then I need to be able to get to 2 Thunderbolts, and you guys are going to see I'm able to get to this first Thunderbolt, no problem, to get his last shield, or sorry, his second to last shield. He's able to get to Focus Blast now, and I'm able to get to another Thunderbolt, getting his next shield, but then I'm not going to quite be able to get to that next Thunderbolt. So we go and we actually basically CMP tie here. I have the energy, but he's able to get to that Focus Blast just in time. So if I'd had even a little bit of an energy advantage on Lanturn, I think I would have been able to turn that match around. So that was definitely a mistake on my part to not come in with the Lanturn against the Skarmory. So that was very well played by my opponent. They made the right shielding decisions on the Whiscash, and more or less throughout they saved their shields for that Registeel in the back. So that was really good. Here we get a mirror matchup. So we're going to go for the Sky Attack. They beat us on the CMP tie, so we're going to shield and then drop our own Sky Attack here. They are likely going to mirror the shield. So now we're going to swap into Deoxys. So I'm going to try and get to that Rock Slide. They actually swap, so I change tactics right away. Don't go for that Rock Slide. Build up some extra energy and going to go for double Psycho Boosts. So go for the Psycho Boost. They don't shield. So this is really good. Have a second one ready. Going to go for another one. This is either going to take them out or get a shield. We do get the second shield, so that's good. We don't need to shield ourselves. This isn't going to take us out, and we're going to be able to get to another Psycho Boost to take out the Ivysaur. So we do get to the Psycho Boost here. This is going to be taking them out. So we're able to win switch advantage and shield advantage back, and then it's a Whiscash coming in. So just going to go for Psycho Boost. We don't get to it. That's totally fine. I'm going to come in with Lanturn now. Because this could be a problem for me, and I'm going to try and swap on the charge move. So I do manage to swap on the Mud Bomb, means I don't need to shield this. So going to be going for those Dragon Breaths now, and then my opponent throws another charge move here, and this is way too quick for a Blizzard. So I know that this is another Mud Bomb. I don't need to use my shield. So going to go for Sky Attack. This is going to be taking out the Whiscash because they've got no more shields. And then their last Pokemon coming in is Altaria. No need to shield this Sky Attack. Lanturn's going to be able to take care of that Altaria, no problem. And then coming in now, able to go for Thunderbolt on the Altaria to take it out. So good match there. Definitely pretty close. I think that really the two key mistakes that my opponent made were after letting the first Psycho Boost come through on the Ivysaur, they shielded the second, which really didn't get them all that much. They still lost switch advantage, and I was still able to take them out with Deoxys, another Psycho Boost. So they gave up the shield for not a whole lot, and then with Whiscash coming in, they probably could have farmed a little bit more energy from Deoxys since I was twice debuffed from Psycho Boost already. And then they probably could have more convincingly made me think they might have Blizzard. So here, getting an Azumarill on the lead, going to switch to Deoxys myself. I think I'm going to let this go through. It is a Play Rough, so it's a Play Rough variant of Azumarill. Going to go for the Rock Slide, hoping that they think it's a Thunderbolt. They don't shield, so that's a good call on their part. I'm going to go ahead and shield here because I want to get off my stored energy. So I'm going to go for Rock Slide. and I'm quite sure I can get to a Psycho Boost before they get to another charge move. So that's going to be what I go for here. Go for the Psycho Boost now. And this is going to be forcing a shield or taking them out. So we do take them out and win switch advantage, and then they bring in Umbreon. So going to go for Rock Slide here, and then I think my opponent makes a mistake here. They actually shield the Rock Slide. So that wouldn't have dealt very much damage at all to Umbreon because I'd already used Psycho Boost to debuff my attack. And then they drop a charge move anyways. They definitely didn't need to drop that charge move. They could have farmed me down with Snarl. So, gonna come in now with Altaria. They bring in Bastiodon. I've got to swap into Lanturn. Bastiodon could spell real trouble for my team. I'm gonna go ahead and shield this because I need to keep some health on Lanturn. Bastiodon is really a big threat, so I want to build up a lot of energy so that they know that I have Hydro Pump, and then go for Thunderbolt to get that last shield. So they do take the bait, and then we're going to be able to get to a Hydro Pump before they're able to get to another Stone Edge. So this is going to be dealing a lot of damage, not quite enough to take them out. So they do get to another Stone Edge here, but that's not going to be enough damage to take us out. So we're just going to go ahead and farm them down for the energy, and then we want to switch right away into Altaria. And I make a mistake and go for Dragon Pulse here. I should have gone for 2 Sky Attacks because I'm going to need to get to 2 charge moves. And Sky Attack is the more energy efficient move, and I can get to 2 of them much faster than I can get to a Dragon Pulse and a Sky Attack. So made it much closer in the end than it should have been, but still able to get to that Sky Attack to take out the Umbreon. So that was a really close match, and I think that if my opponent hadn't shielded the Rock Slide from Deoxys when they brought in the Umbreon, they definitely would have won that matchup. But really close. That was really the only thing that probably they could have done differently. All right, so we get into Deoxys on the lead here. I was actually planning to swap on their Rock Slide, but they bring in Altaria, so I'm going to go ahead and go for a Sky Attack. Probably going to draw the shield here. And then I go ahead and I mean to swap into Deoxys, but I actually swap into Lanturn by accident. So that's unfortunate for me. However, I do resist the Sky Attack damage, so it's not as bad as it could be. This is going to be another Sky Attack coming through. Don't need to shield it. So going to get to a Thunderbolt, which should be either getting a shield or getting the Altaria very, very low. We do get a shield, so we've got both shields now. So going to come in now with Altaria to finish them off, but Altaria's actually kind of low, and Deoxys is not a great finisher. So I'm in a bit of a tough spot here because Lanturn is really my best closer. So I don't have a great answer for Azumarill since I switched into Lanturn by accident. So my defense Deoxys is in a bit of a tough spot. He's got to try and take out both Azumarill and defense Deoxys. So there's really no chance for me here. Going to build up a lot of energy. Throwing the Rock Slide now. Want to take out this Deoxys as quickly as I can, getting another Rock Slide off. And then I am going to go ahead and shield this because I think that my only play is to shield this Rock Slide and then manage to swap out on the Azumarill's charge move. So I am able to farm down, which is really good. And then I should have swapped. I thought he needed one more bubble, but he's able to get to the Ice Beam to take me out. Definitely wish I had swapped to the Altaria to sack, but I don't think it would have been enough. I still would have needed to get to at least 2 more Psycho Boosts, and I just don't think I could have outpaced the Azumarill that much. So, good match by my opponent. Definitely my mistake was going into the Lanturn. I meant to go into Deoxys, but I misclicked. That's the sort of thing that happens. But, you happens and then you learn from it, right? So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time.